Mike Eruzione was the captain of the United States hockey team that won Olympic gold back in 1980. 40 years ago to the day, Mike, you guys beat the Finns for the gold. When that happened, did you think you'd be talking about it 40 years later?
I didn't think I'd be talking about it a week later. No, it's hard to believe it's been 40 years, but, you know, I think my teammates and I over the years have realized that it clearly wasn't just a great moment for us. It was a great moment for, obviously, hockey, but it was a great moment for a country. And, you know, we were just playing a game and no clue or idea that it was taking the legs and the length that it has taken.
Now, the movie script tells us that the team was built to beat the Soviets, that's what Herb Brooks was supposed to be obsessed with, is beating that team. But were you guys even thinking about, they were in the other pool, were you guys even thinking about them after that game at the Garden leading into the Olympics?
We never talked about the Soviets once until the night before the Soviet game. We never talked about that Olympic game again. After we lost in Madison Square Garden, that game was never talked about, never brought up, never discussed. Once we got to Lake Placid, I hate to say it this way, but it was really one game at a time. And Sweden was the first one, and then from there it went to the Czechs, then it went to Norway, then it went to Romania, then it went to West Germany. And then the night before we were playing the day before, that's when we started talking about the Soviets.
Now, you guys in the gold medal game, Mike, were down 2-1 after 2 periods of play. Herb Brooks had a very famous discussion, shall we say, with you guys after that second period. How important was that to you guys ultimately coming away with a 4-2 win? Well,
I think one of the things was Jack O'Callahan was in the locker room, and he must have said it 100 times. There's no way a bunch of Finns are keeping us from a gold medal. and the energy in the room was incredible. And I think Herb fed off what was going on in that room. And he just came in, and that's what he said, you'll take it to your grave. And then he walked out and he pointed his finger and he said, your grave. And he was so right. I mean, you know, we didn't go to the Olympics to win one game. We went with the hope and dreams of winning the whole tournament. And we weren't going to be deprived, you know, 20 minutes in a game against Finland. It just wasn't going to be that way.
And the amazing thing is, and I know you know this, is the fact that if you don't win that game, you might not even get a medal. That the fact that actually the Soviets would have won gold if you don't beat Finland.
Correct. And we could have come in 4th place. So, you know, people talk about the Soviet game being, you know, the only game that we played, but the Finland game was the biggest one.
You know, Mike, it's interesting. If you guys don't win a medal, how would we be looking back on that miracle victory over Russia?
And you probably wouldn't be looking back at it at all because we didn't win. I think you'd look back as, hey, what a great tournament the U.S. players had, and they beat the Soviets, but they couldn't close the deal. And that wouldn't be the way we want to be remembered. Again, like I said, we went to Lake Placid with the hope and dreams of winning a whole tournament, not to win one game. We wanted to win the whole thing. And the way we played in the 3rd period against Finland was probably the best 20 minutes that we played all year. And a statistic that I was told the other day, and I didn't know this because I've never really watched any of the hockey games, was that we outscored our opponent 16-3 in the 3rd period throughout the Olympic Games. That's an incredible statistic. That just shows, one, how good we were, and two, the conditioning that Herb put us through all year led to us to be able to wear teams down.
Mike, you work at BU. You're part of the administration there. You got to know David Quinn a little bit when he was there as a player and, of course, as a head coach. What did you learn about him that maybe predicted his success here on the NHL level with the Rangers?
Well, you know, the one thing about David that has always impressed me was his love and passion to coach and teach. And I've said that about Herb Brooks, and I've said that about Jack Parker. David loves the game of hockey. He loves to coach it. He loves to teach it. He's a great recruiter. Players love playing for him. At least they did at Boston University. You know, sometimes it's a little different in the National Hockey League. You got to deal with egos and salaries and things like that. And some of the players he has maybe aren't the players that he recruited, where he at Boston University he could. But I think he's somebody that his players like playing for. He's honest. There's no BS behind him. He's not telling you a story and not believing in it. And I think as a player, you want to play under a coach like David, who you can not only respect but trust. Trust is an important thing in coaching. If your players don't trust you and don't respect you, you have no chance of winning. And I don't know, I'm not in the locker room with the New York Rangers organization, but I know at Boston University when David was an assistant or a head coach, the players respected him and they trusted him. and he's a pretty smart guy, and he knows the game of hockey pretty well.
Okay, Mike, we'll leave it there. Hey, thanks so much. 40 years ago today, you guys beat Finland for the gold medal in the 1980 Olympics. Thanks so much for joining us from Las Vegas.
Thanks for having me, guys. Take care.